Hello, and welcome to Chabot News for April 20th, 2022. My name is Jonathan, and in today's news, we will be covering mask mandates on airlines and an offer for surrender in Mariupol. We have Stanley on entertainment covering Lizzo and strange baby news. Andrew has us again with sports, including Dwayne Haskins Memorial and the Warriors. Plus, get ready for more with Stanley with the top 5 quarterbacks of all time. All that and more coming up on Chabot News. The Biden administration says it may appeal a judge's Monday ruling ending the federal mask mandate on planes and public transit. However, the administration will only appeal if the CDC determines the mandate is still necessary. CNN's Adrian Brutus reports.
In what appears to be a large-scale unmasking,
masks will be optional.
Masks are now flying off the faces of travelers across the country after a federal ruling struck down mask mandates for public transportation.
Masks now optional for employees, customers, following the White House. So I will not have everyone having any issue with someone for wearing a mask or not wearing a mask. It is all up to you guys right now. So enjoy the fresh air.
The ruling came Monday from Florida U.S. District Judge Catherine Kimball Mizell, a 2020 Trump nominee, saying the CDC exceeded its authority. The announcement sparked some celebrations Monday on airplanes around the country as the mask mandates were lifted for travelers mid-flight. But beyond the initial cheers, the rule reversal prompted a wide variety of reactions. From New York,
I took my mask off right away, thank God,
to Los Angeles.
I lost my grandmother to COVID a year ago, and so I'm very particular about the masks. So I'm going to continue to wear them no matter what the mandates are.
In Chicago, one couple said the timing of the announcement worked out perfectly for them.
I'm ready to go on my honeymoon, and I'm glad everybody can see the smile on our faces.
But the changes also created some frustration and uncertainty for some travelers.
I feel like it's a little too soon, maybe.
I'd rather be proactive and instead of going back to where we just got out of.
Right now, we're still in the middle of a pandemic. I think we should be wearing masks in public spaces.
The lifting of the mandate prompted Delta Airlines to issue a statement expressing relief that, quote, COVID-19 has transitioned to an ordinary seasonal virus. But the White House challenged that statement, leading Delta to change its language today, calling COVID-19, quote, a more manageable respiratory virus with better treatments, vaccines, and other scientific measures to prevent serious illness. The White House had hoped to keep the travel mandate for another 2 weeks.
Thank you, Adrian. The situation in Mariupol remains, quote, brutal and unchanged, according to President Zelensky on Tuesday. That comes as Ukrainian forces ignored another Russian offer to surrender. Rafael Romo has the latest.
Not a single place, town, city, or village is now safe in Ukraine. That's what a chief diplomatic advisor to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky told CNN earlier about the security situation in his country. And as a new phase in the war begins in eastern Ukraine, the country's deputy prime minister said no evacuation routes for civilians had been agreed with Russia. The fate of the southern port city of Mariupol rests on an unknown number of Ukrainian fighters who are said to be surrounded by the Russians. They're trying to defend the city's iron and steel plant, a 4-square-mile complex. After defying an ultimatum Sunday, Ukrainian forces in Mariupol again ignored an offer to surrender by Russia, in spite of the fact that, according to officials, they're running out of ammunition. They're not alone. An estimated 1,000 civilians are also sheltering in the plant's basement. And in a new worrying development, the Security Service of Ukraine has released the purported communications intercept of a Russian ground unit commander who said Russian aircraft were planning to level everything to the ground around that steel plant. Just a few hours ago, Pentagon spokesman John Kirby confirmed a flight carrying a weapons shipment to Ukraine arrived in Europe yesterday, and there will be another 7 flights with more military aid in the next 24 hours. Vladimir Klitschko, the brother of Kyiv's mayor, told CNN earlier that they fear if Vladimir Putin succeeds in the east, he may try once again to attack the capital. Vitaly Klitschko, the mayor himself, has sent a letter to the Ukrainian Freedom Fund, a nonprofit, asking in part for 200,000 gas masks to shield his citizens from any potential chemical weapons attack. Rafael Romo, CNN, Lviv, Ukraine.
Thank you, Rafael. Now let's go to Stanley with some entertainment news.
Thank you, Jonathan. When rappers Cardi B and Offset had their second baby, you just knew the couple was going to have a unique name, especially since their 3-year-old daughter is named Culture Kiari Cephas. Well, drumroll please. The couple named their son Waveset Cephas. He was born 7 months ago, but the parents just now share his name and pics on social media. It turns out the first name Wave was Offset's idea. Here's some special news for Lizzo fans. The singer says her new album titled Special will be released July 15th. She also just put out a video for her song About Damn Time, which she said in an Instagram post will be, quote, the song of the summer. During a recent interview with Apple, Lizzo said she hopes Special will bring out more love and positive energy to the world. Lizzo appeared on Saturday Night Live this past weekend as both host and musical guest. That's all for entertainment news. Now back to you, Jonathan.
Thanks, Stanley. Chabot College President Susan Sperling, the Indigenous Peoples Education Association, IPA, and the Mowakma Ohlone tribe raised the Mowakwa Ohlone flag on Monday, April 18th. Friends, students, faculty, and many members of the Mowakma Ohlone tribe came to speak about what it means to have this land and their flag represented here at Chabot College. The ceremony included speeches, blessings, and a song to bless the land. The flag will be permanently flown on the college campus to acknowledge the history of the land on which the tribe live, work, and learn. Chabot College will become the first public institution to raise and permanently fly the Mowakma Ohlone flag. This April 23rd, join others at Weeks Park located at 27182 Patrick Avenue, Hayward, for the annual Hayward Citywide Cleanup and Annual Event. This is a litter pickup event hosted at Weeks Park. Volunteers will come together to collect litter and abandoned debris in various neighborhoods throughout the city. The City of Hayward and Keep Hayward Clean and Green Task Force will provide volunteers with tools like gloves, bags, and litter grabbers for volunteers to use during the event. After volunteers have beautified the neighborhood, they will return to Weeks Park where lunch will be provided. If you would like to organize a litter pickup in Hayward community, please contact Nicole Grucky at nicole.grucky, Grucky, at hayward-ca.gov. That's our local news for the day, so off to Andrew with sports.
Thanks, Jonathan. The memorial for Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Dwayne Haskins is up outside of Heinz Field. Fans are leaving pictures, flowers, and candles outside the stadium. The 24-year-old quarterback passed away earlier this month when he was struck by a dump truck while trying to cross a highway on foot in South Florida. Haskins' wife has thanked fans for their kindness and support during this difficult time. The Steelers are holding an official event to honor Haskins' life on Friday. The NBA playoffs are currently underway, and the Golden State Warriors beat the Denver Nuggets on Monday. The final score was 126-106, with Golden State taking a dominant win. Warriors third-year guard Jordan Poole has been impressive so far, scoring a total of 59 points through 2 playoff games, which is the second highest total through the first 2 career playoff games by a Golden State Warrior, the most since Wilt Chamberlain. The Warriors now lead the playoff series 2-0 and are looking to continue the win streak Thursday night as they travel to Denver for Game 3. That's it for sports. Now back to Jonathan.
Thank you, Andrew. Friday, April 22nd marks Earth Day. It's a day of action to recognize and address environmental concerns. Anything from climate change to deforestation or even food waste. You may be surprised by just how much food you waste. About 1/3 of all produce in the U.S. goes uneaten each year, according to estimates by the USDA. Food waste not only means more greenhouse gas emissions, but it also hits us in the pocketbook. Isabel Rosales reports on the innovative ways communities in the East and West Coast are working to turn that around.
Discolored and deformed. This food may not be the prettiest to look at, but it is perfectly edible.
When you think about the amount of resources that it takes to produce this food and then to not have it become nutrient, that is so wasteful.
Instead of wasting away, all that ugly or surplus produce from farms around California goes back to those in need. Roman Pinal, organizer for Campesinos a Campesinos, or Farm Workers to Farm Workers, says they feed hundreds of families in their community.
I think it's hunger, preventing food waste, and bringing some healthy food to farm worker families.
Over on the East Coast, Arlington County wants to make composting as easy as taking out the trash. It's the first in Virginia to offer residential curbside composting pickup. Eric Grabowski leads the Solid Waste Bureau.
So it's our version of a topsoil product, and you can see how rich it looks.
He tells me nearly 80% of households are participating, and the program isn't even a year old.
I think that's fabulous. It's not 100%, but it's very good.
Here's how it works. You collect food scraps like an orange peel. Once a week, a crew comes to pick up your green card, curbside, just like trash day. But it doesn't end up in a landfill. It ends up here. This is a composting facility. These scraps go through a journey. In these aerated bunkers, microorganisms break them down. And in about 60 days, it ends up as compost. In other words, fertilizer. So far, Arlington County found the program diverts about 20% of food scraps that would otherwise end up as garbage. But it's not always so easy to get people on board.
You know, there's a yuck factor associated with managing food scraps in your house.
But once you figure it out, you start to see scrap or spoiled food as not a waste, but an opportunity. I'm Isabel Rosales reporting.
If your city doesn't offer a curbside food scraps program, there are other steps you can take to reduce food waste at home. Carefully plan your trips to the grocery store by first checking your fridge to avoid repeat items. And make a grocery shopping list to keep you on track, minimize spoilage by properly storing fruits and veggies. Leafy greens, carrots, and cucumbers should go in high humidity drawers, while some fruits like apples, avocados should be stored separately since the gases they release make other produce ripen faster. The freezer is your best friend. It can greatly extend the life of foods. There's also dehydrating, canning, or making a jam from surplus fruits and veggies. You can also give composting a shot at home. Forget a vending machine for sodas and snacks. This is a vending machine for books, and at a Wisconsin elementary school, students are loving it. 2 teachers at Sherman Elementary and EAU Clare got the idea from another school. Every book costs 1 token, and students can earn a token when it's their birthday or for being good. Teachers say there are some low-income families with kids at their school, so this is a great way to keep them reading. The machine was about $5,500 and was paid for with Title I funds. Officials plan to apply for various grants to pay for more books down the road. Before we go, let's hear from Stanley and his top 5.
Thank you, Jonathan. Today, I have my picks for the top 5 quarterbacks. At number 5, we have Matthew Stafford. Stafford put together an incredible season, stepping into a new locker room and coming out of the season with a ring, and a stat line of 4,800 yards and 48 touchdowns and 17 interceptions. He did this while boasting a 67% completion rate in passes and led the Rams to 12 wins before winning a Super Bowl. And while Stafford's 17 interceptions led the league, he put together a great postseason with a 9-3 touchdown to interception ratio, as well as over 1,100 yards. Number 4 goes to Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs started the year 3-4, and Mahomes had a stat line of 18 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. The Chiefs heard the criticisms and doubts and finished the second half of the season on fire. Mahomes rallied and finished the year with 4,800 yards, 37 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. Even though it was the most interceptions of Mahomes' career, he still ended the career with the year with a 9-1 record, 19 touchdowns, and only 4 interceptions in the final 10 games. At number 3, I have Joe Burrow. Burrow returned to the league this season after a devastating knee injury that ended his promising rookie year. The Bengals were projected to be last in the AFC North and one of the bottom-dwelling teams that needed many pieces to achieve success. Burrow led the league in completion percentage with over 70% of his passing landing in his wide receivers' hands. He led the Bengals to a 10-6 record in the competitive AFC North and toured through the playoffs, beating the Chiefs along the way. At number 2, there's Tom Brady. Brady led the league in pass attempts, yards, and touchdowns. He finished the year with 5,300 yards, 43 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Tom Brady retired briefly after the season, but has since announced he will be returning next season to compete at the age of 44. And finally, the number 1 spot goes to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers led the league in passer ratings, finishing the year with a stat line of 4,100 yards, 37 touchdowns, and only 4 interceptions, and won the league MVP award for the second year in a row. What Rodgers has been able to do recently is absolutely insane. His arm talent is unparalleled in the NFL. In fact, over the last 4 years, he only had 15 interceptions, which is less than or equal to 5 quarterbacks this year alone. That's all for my top 5, so back to you, Jonathan.
Thank you, Stanley. That's all for Chabot News this week. Thanks to all the students and the staff in the Mass Communications Department here at Chabot College for making this production possible. You can watch us anytime online at youtube.com/Chabot TV. Stay tuned to KCTH Channel 27 for more Chabot TV.